It's Rick and
Kimberly.
with Rock Bottom Outreach, and it would be, what is it, January the 8th? We better look. I hate to steer you wrong.
Today's the 9th.
It's the 9th. Okay, it is Sunday, January the 9th. Have you ever been desperate for something? Desperate to lose weight, desperate to make a change, desperate to get your degree, just desperate. You know, there's places in the Bible, so many places. The lady that touched the hem of the garment of Jesus, she was desperate for her prayers to be heard, desperate for that encounter with Jesus. And Jesus is like, whoa, who touched me? Who touched my garment? You remember that?
In the midst of all those people.
In the midst of the people. She was so desperate to have that encounter with Jesus, you know, that she's like in the middle of all those people, like, I'm going to touch this dude. And so think back when, were you ever, would you be a roadie, a rowdy, what do you call it?
A groupie?
A groupie. Have you ever been a groupie?
I have.
Okay, right. You've been a groupie before, right? And so you'll do anything to get close to the band, talk to the band. But when you hear the word desperate, I want to have you rephrase that a little bit. The gift of desperation. The gift of desperation. Have you ever sat in church or somewhere else and you're like, man, that dude's really into this. Like, man, he's really digging this. I wish I could be that close to Jesus. But I promise what happened. At some point, he or she encountered the gift of desperation. And that is what happened to me. When I finally got close to God, I was desperate. Have you ever been desperate for God to hear you?
More than one. I mean, I think you go through seasons in life where if you go through a change and you go through something that broke your heart or something that hurt you, I think we get more desperate. But what about in the day-to-day life? That's where I want to be desperate every day.
No, and that's it. I mean, you have to, and that's what I'm saying, to say stop looking and to say, you know, you're battling depression, you're battling addiction, your marriage is breaking, whatever you're going through right now, to say, believe it or not, that affliction can be a gift from God if you have the gift of desperation to say, I will do whatever it takes. God, I'll do whatever it takes for you to hear my prayers. I am desperate. And so our prayer for you today is that you have that gift of desperation. You know, we talked about that in church this morning. He didn't use that verbiage, but that's exactly what God laid in my heart. And as I look around and I'm listening to the sermon, I'm thinking, like, when you cry out to God, you have that gift of desperation. You know, even in the Bible, and I've talked about this before, that these friends took their friend to Jesus to be healed, and it was so crowded they couldn't get in. But they were so desperate, they went on the roof. Remember what they did? Yeah, they cut a hole in the roof, and they lowered this dude down because they wanted their friend to have that encounter with Jesus, and they were so desperate. Are you desperate today? And stop looking at it to say, man, I'm broken. I feel hopeless. Man, if you're desperate and you're desperate enough, there's always hope in Christ. I promise you. And so, man, if we can pray for you, let us know. But may you begin to look at your desperation, that you have the gift of desperation, and you'll do whatever it takes to make a change.
And God will be right there to meet you.
Amen. Have a great Sunday.